All right. Well, yeah, there's not much of a show tonight, as you can see. It's
because I'm here.
Jeff's gone. We replaced him with Schraub. Duncan Trussell was. I told him come to the show, but I think he might be just like.
He might be at Meltdown going, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, that's no joke. That could be the case.
Empty.
I did his podcast, and I was like, you should come do mine, but whatever.
I hear you watched Old It recently. It?
Yeah, I watched the old Stephen King's It. Got caught up on that in anticipation of the new Stephen King's It.
Yep. Old It versus New It. I've seen Old It a lot. I probably watched it with you a bunch of times, and I just saw the new It like last weekend.
You saw the new one?
I saw the new It. Yes.
Do they all float?
They do. They do. But what did you say about the old It? Not much.
Cody watched it with me, and she's like, nobody floated.
No.
We kept saying they all float down here. There was never any.
And we all float down here.
And we have talked about the fact that in the book, the boys all have sex with the girl.
Right.
When they're kids.
And it's her idea. She goes, well, it's one thing left to do. The only way to get out of this sewer dimension is to, well, all right. And all the boys are going, Jesus Christ, are you serious?
It's the thing about Stephen King. It's like it's hard to put your finger on what he's good and bad at, but like he's like. Well, I think if he was sitting here, he would be like, yeah, that's true. I don't. Yeah. I know his origin story has something to do with, as I've said, like I think in the Marvel movie where Stephen King is a hero, in the first 20 minutes he's like carrying his typewriter and he drops it and the backspace key flies off. And he's just like, God, but I have to turn in and then he's like,
it's gonna be
holy shit! You can make it up as you go.
It's gonna be 1,000 pages long.
And I think he'd agree with that. I don't think he'd be offended by that.
It's one thing. The thing about like the scene of in the book where how many boys are there? It's like Beverly. How many? 6. 5, 6. Let's say 5. They Beverly starts taking off her clothes, and they're like going, "Holy shit! I guess we're gonna have to have sex with her."
But aren't they like 10?
They're 11.
Okay, all right.
And I was like, okay, gross, and I understand you're doing exploitation. You could have wrote fade out, fade up. They're all putting their sneakers on and going, wow, that was terrific, and now we can get out of the sewer. But page after page of description and commenting on sizes and shit and like going... I'm like, okay, I really don't need to know that
it's like
kid
slash
has the biggest
fiction,
dick.
but he's like his favorite show is children. Like it's like.
But I mean, that being said, I mean, like he's. But I love Stephen King.
It's another thing. It's like when you watch the old It, which is available on your little
and it's
consoles.
not called the old It. So when you're typing it in, I keep typing in the old It, and it's not showing up. It's just It. It's a 2-part miniseries. It was done in 1998.
You should be aware the studio that makes those sort of like African American recreations of like About Last Night and stuff like that. There's a Black It. Called
Blackish. I'm sorry, you had a bit.
I know. Well, I didn't have a bit, but Jesus Christ!
I know.
That's just the name of a show. I was like, and it sounds like Black It. You just.
I just say stuff.
You just see a dot. You just connect the one you're on. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the Stephen King of talking.
I don't have a backspace.
And who here isn't? Hi, Spencer.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hey, guys. Yeah.
everything. This is the thing that I think Stephen King is either good or bad at, but in any case, it's an extreme condition he has. Everything's a device. Everything's like a crucifix. There's like 90 things in it that if you use the power of positivity or whatever, if you recite the birds in your Boy Scout manual, it makes the Tim Curry clown go away. If you just aren't afraid, if you just hold hands and ignore everything, it only can hurt you if you pay attention. If you have an asthma inhaler, you can just say it's acid and squirt it. It's a slingshot. It's silver. And every step of the way, because he doesn't want to go back and like refine anything. People are just like, hey, I brought a slingshot and I brought my mom's earrings. They're silver. How do we know that'll work? If we believe it, it'll work. Oh, well, fuck you.
But do you have a favorite Stephen King like adaptation book or something?
I've always said I liked his stuff when he was like a kid. Like when you read those Bachman books, like The Long Walk, I thought was just like really great. Simple and granular. It's like, 100 kids and they walk until one of them's left, and if you drop below 10 miles an hour walking, they shoot your brains out.
I like cool. Carrie. I think Carrie, the book is great.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Remember when I told you about the library policeman? When I was listening to I was listening to the book on tape, The Library Policeman, which is a short story where there's this guy who's like, oh man, something bad happened to me as a kid. I can't recall it because I blocked it, and it's the thing. I have to get over this fear, otherwise I won't be able to kill this monster in the library. Oh, how am I going to get over this thing that I can't remember that happened to me as a kid? And I'm listening to it for like days because I'm on the way to work. I would listen to it like 20 minutes at a time. And then finally, it was like the chapter where he meets up with him, like he faces this fear. And Kate and I were like going to a party, and I go, hey, hun, I really want to know what happens here. Do you mind if I just play this on the way? And she's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Whatever. Do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. All right? All right. I'm like, oh, thanks, honey. I love you. And then, boop. And then it goes into, again, great detail about how when he was 8 years old, he was molested by this guy in the bushes, and just describing in great detail about like how the warm jelly went up his ass. And it's just like a quiet drive. And it's like, I don't want to press stop because that's admitting that this is gross and whatever. And Kate is just like, I'm fucking married to this guy. This is what I guess I signed up for this. Oh my God.
Who was reading the book on tape?
Oh, I forget his name, but it was the guy who played the White Shadow. Remember the TV series The White Shadow? Mm-hmm. You guys remember The White Shadow from the 70s? It's a show. Okay, all right. It was that guy.
He was a white basketball coach, and then his mostly black high school basketball team.
I believe it was a high school basketball team.
And it was called The White Shadow.
It was called The White Shadow.
Little playing with the concepts of
shadows are usually not white. They're the opposite. Hi, Spencer.
Hey, guys. Yeah.
Spencer,
if you're like a 10-year-old black kid and you're watching that show in the 70s, and you're like, The White Shadow. Oh, I get it, because I'm like a shadow person. It's supposed to be something like that every day. Every cereal box is a minefield. Every conversation, like, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
I don't know, why are you guys reacting to that observation as if I did something wrong? Is it just because you are scared that now at the end of the world, someone's going to mention, by the way, we were kind of mean to black people? Yes. Like, that would make up the apocalypse a little worse, a little awkward, a little party foul during Armageddon.
Party foul. Oops, party foul. We should do that as the.
Just give me a second, will you?
Okay. No, you have
I want
to
to make
shut-
this incredibly clear to you. I don't fucking care about your opinions anymore. You're terrible people. You're dumb. You're impressionable, manipulatable, and stupid. I know that seems like I added like a synonym for dumb, but it's two different things. You have no voice. You have no brain. You're bad people. You're a biomass of closet murderers. You're only held in check by your fear. Fuck off.